It's good for the students and it's good for the teachers. I can explain later on and go into more detail why. I understand also, though, that perhaps some people feel that maybe it could have been announced sooner, and also that it might cause maybe for some parents, mainly in the parents of primary school children, who might have issues with childcare or whatever.
Well, we were pretty much blindsided by the whole announcement last week. Some parents already planned their annual leave, or they haven't actually got it yet. So they've had to ask some of their employers this week, and they've been told no. Other people have already booked that time off, so therefore they can't have that time off. And the children who haven't been to nursery and into a childcare setting for the last 2-3 years, where are they going? You can't put a child into a childcare setting just for 3 weeks of the year.
And what we can't do is detach ourselves from the reality of what many people in Gibraltar struggle with every single day, and that is low incomes. And how are they going to manage now paying for nurseries, paying for people to take care of their children if they do not have the support from family members? How are they going to survive this? Because incomes are low for a lot of people in Gibraltar, and then annual leave is also low. There has to be some sort of impact. Is it going to impact children that are below average? They are going to be left behind, whilst teachers unfortunately have to rush through these syllabus, and they're going to be left behind, or we're going to lose project learning days, days out for day trips, sports days. Are we going to lose any of this to be able to cover the syllabus? That's a concern.
I think from a first impression, it's a good thing, because, you know, we all think, oh, more holidays. But if we actually unpack the situation, like you were saying, I worry about the time, because now doing my GCSEs, I found that being in a school with such a vast, like a plethora of students with different abilities, it is hard to get through all the content that we have to for our exams.
And I don't think, as I said, from my experience as a teacher, having 7.6 less days of teaching time is not going to affect people being able to succeed in their A-levels, in their GCSEs and all that, because and what we don't want is burnout, the burnout that you get in the UK. This will go some way to maybe preventing this in the future, where people get so burnt out and stressed eventually that they'll give up teaching and move to another profession.
We wouldn't even be here if, as Mr. Cortez said, there was a consultation. The consultation was specifically about half days, and that is probably why they only received 200 responses. There was no mention of the spring midterm. There was no mention of an increase in Easter, and I think that is what the public have been blindsided by.
You know, it's really ironic, because they are talking about changes for primarily students, right? Yet they consult no students. And us as older students, we have a view, you know? And I'm grateful that I'm sitting on this panel now to be able to express it, because otherwise we get no say in the decisions that are made for us.
It's just that we need to either look at a way of increasing annual leave for people. Obviously, that will impact businesses, which might not be great, but we need to support working parents. We need to be in a situation that families that genuinely have low incomes, and we need to means test and support them with childcare. You cannot continue to put so much pressure on these working parents, which will essentially end up with mums or dads having to give up their careers, which is the worst thing.